Yep. That's how what? That's how amazing of a life me and wife are going to be living. You guys are taking it for granted. Because once I'm king, I'm not going to think about myself as a channel. All I'm going to think about is I'm going to be feeling on top of the world every day with my wife. Me and my wife are going to be busy looking at the trends. Oh my god, look at us. We're fucking famous. We're the main attraction around the world. You know what I'm saying? Oh my god, we're making plans to start Sky, so we're about to hire a 17. We're about to star on our own big budget movie that we funded bigger than all these big Hollywood companies. Me and my wife are gonna be famous movie stars. We're gonna be famous celebs, man. More famous than all these Hollywood actors and singers. Well, that's how famous we are going to be. That's something crazy. And you guys are taking for granted. You think after me going through that hell and the horror mess with my wife and the horror mess with me that me working maybe me and wife are not making rules for. We're living our life forever in this world. Well, you guys can live your life. You're gonna be left behind, abandoned. As generations pass, you guys are all gonna feel like shit. You're all gonna get old. You're all gonna die. Me and wife are gonna stay young forever with glowing beauty, and you guys you fucking deserve. And had you not separate me and her, and not cause this mess, you would have seen my glory forever in Hollywood with the seminars. You would have seen me and my wife YouTube clips, me and my wife doing radio interviews, seminars, Netflix. Like you would have seen me doing stand-up comedy on Netflix. Imagine seeing an Ivan O'Mara stand-up comedy because I can do stand-up comedy. I'm naturally gifted. You would have seen me doing what stand-up comedy on for the world to see, man. You know how when you watch Dave Chappelle and Russell Peters, those guys are funny. Well, imagine seeing Ivan O'Mara doing stand-up comedy. You're looking at something fucking funny, man. Because I know how to crack jokes. You know what I'm saying? Yeah. You would have seen me doing stand-up comedy. You would have seen that glory. Me and wife doing movies. Me and wife singing together. You would have seen that glory, and yet you chose bullshit sex over that amazing glory. Which boggles my mind to this day. It boggles my mind how you guys would choose bullshit rip-off sex. Like, you're not going to see me when I pay this fee over an eternity of glory in Hollywood. That's what boggles my mind. Like I'd rather see Ivan's bullshit sex and be left behind, abandoned by God forever, than never know what it's like to have sex and be saved and seeing that him and VJ's amazing glory. You guys don't see it now because you're blind, because you took me and wife's glory for granted. But once you see our glory behind the scenes, it's finally gonna hit your mind like, oh my god, like seeing Ivan VJ's glory is so much better than seeing their bullshit sex. I mean, in other words, I'd rather be saved and never knows how to be never knows no one knows how to be them to have sex than see their bullshit sex, see their rip off sex, obviously, and not be saved and be left behind and not abandoned by God. So you'd rather have something a rip off sex, and not being saved than being saved and never knowing how to have sex. You know what I'm saying? Like, that's how crazy you guys, because you guys are fucking crazy people. You guys hope you can get your full cake. Hopefully we see their glory and see the bullshit sex, but I'm not fucking stupid. I'm not going to just do them like that. Is you made your choice. It's either you see I and me as glory forever, you're not saved, and you're saved, and you never know what it's like to have sex, that's how crazy you are. Or you see their rip-off sex, you get something worthless. You see something worthless, and you're left behind about it. My God, yeah. You know, you guys chose the worthless over the what something that's worth a lot. In other words, me and my wife's glory, it'll finally hit you guys when you see the trends online. It's finally gonna hit your minds. Oh my God, seeing Iron VJ's glory is worth it so much more than seeing their bullshit sex. Yeah, but you guys chose bullshit sex. Hence what? Hence you're left behind. You made your choice. Right? Now about my book process. I'll quickly reiterate what I said in my phase 1 announcement. Way back in 2000, okay, I'll tell you a little story. I already told you this story. So pretty much, I went to Darcy McGee High School here in Elmer, Quebec. I flunked a lot of my classes in grade 11. I didn't initially graduate. I had to go to outlet to finish my school. But the only reason why I flunked high school is because I didn't take high school seriously. Like, I skipped classes, I wasn't doing my homework. But when I went to adult ed, I finally put in the work and I actually got good marks. Because I'm actually a pretty smart person. I'm not stupid. Like, in high school, I did very bad. My teachers, everyone in my life kept putting me down. My teachers in grade 7, they put me in retard class. Then I had to go to school in Ottawa. I went to school in Ottawa and I took the regular program, right? And then I went to Lisgar in grade 9. I did okay in Lisgar. And then from grade 9, I went to Darcy McGee High School. Darcy McGee High School is a high school in Elmer, Quebec that I went to. And I did bad in grade 10. I did bad in grade 11. But finally, when I went to outlet and when I put in the work, I actually got good marks. I got better marks than most of the guys in Darcy. That's how good I did in outlet. Like for English, like for history, I got a 94 average, almost 100%. For grade 11, I got an 89 average. For grade 10, I got a 75 average. You know, I mean, for grade 10 English, I got a 75 average for grade 10 English. I got a 94 average on history. and I got a 65 in French. French is I'm not good at French, but I got a an 89 average in grade 11 grade 11 English. I beat most of the Darcy people in the English also. In math and science, I got 60s. I'm not good at math and science, but in history and English, I got really good marks. I got a 94 average and I got an 89 average in grade 11 English, and I graduated. Right, I graduated, and during that time, I was playing. I bought a PS3. I was playing PS with PlayStation, and the step parents kept taking my PS3 because like do something good with your life, and they kept taking my PS3 and breaking my games and all that stuff. Right, and I remember one day they took the internet cord connection, they took my PS3, they took the DVD. There was nothing to do, so I decided to just write a book. I wrote this Islamic book called Apostasy. I wrote about 30,000 words on that for that book. Again, remember in my advice to authors, I told you it's good to write. It's good to practice writing before you write your own novel. Well, that was a practice for me as I wrote 30,000 words of that Islamic book novel, and I started to put it down because the story wasn't working, and I thought it would be an offensive book to Muslims. It's pretty much about a guy. It was a book about a guy who it was about a guy who was raised in a Muslim family. His father taught him the Quran and all that stuff. And that pretty much his sister and mother are treated like shit by his father. And his father sees his son as like the next imam or something like that. He treats his younger son well. And eventually, his father ends up beating his sister and mother, and eventually he had enough of it, and he ends up escaping with his sister and his mother, and he ends up converting. He ends up converting to Christianity, and pretty much his father's powerful, and he sends men after them, and they're on the run, that kind of stuff. That was what I did. I mean, it would have been an amazing story, but the story wasn't working for me. I wrote 30,000 words of that novel. And that's how I ended up practicing my writing. Obviously, I told you before it's good to start to write a short story. That way you can practice your writing. And I remember it's late 2011. One day I just went on the computer. I started brainstorming this whole world of the North and the South, the Upperlands, Lowlands. It just came into my head. The world of Xanius, the world of Saphius, the world of the North, the world of the South, the world of Gileas Mountains, the world of the Barak, the world of the Tinus River, the world of the Valley of the Blood, the Galathia Forest. All these ideas came to my mind because I have the gift, obviously. Because I told you, most people who are amazing writers are not good storytellers. Most good storytellers are not amazing writers because our minds think differently. Chances are, if someone's an amazing writer, chances are he or she cannot write a good story. Chances are, if someone's an amazing storyteller, chances are he cannot write good English. It's just the way our minds think. One mind has unlimited imagination, but they lack the USB to what? To download all that information in the English language. The other has an amazing what? An amazing The other has that capacity to down the fluency in English literature, but they don't have the picture brain to convey those words in story form. I told you that in my last video. Hence, people who can write stories are people who are born with a gift. The people who can write good English are people who have who have a big USB to download all that information. I don't have the USB to download all the information, but I have an unlimited imagination. I can convey those words in story form. I can tell multiple stories. I'm very creative. I can write I have such an unlimited brain. I can write 10 books. 10 books and like have all of that just flow in my mind because I have an unlimited imagination. Whereas these guys can write very fluent. Whereas the good writers can write very fluent English, but they don't have the capacity to convey those words in story form. And if they do write a book, you read the book and you tell me if their book is interesting or not. Chances are it's a boring book. They may have amazing English, but the story lacks consistency. It lacks richness. It lacks reality. You know what I'm saying? The characters jump on the page. The characters feel vague and boring. Yeah, because they rely heavily on their English language, but they don't have the picture brain to convey those words in story form. Because I've read some books where some authors, they have amazing English, but the book is so boring. Like, yeah, these authors have amazing English, but they lack the capacity to tell a good story. Again, I mentioned that in my video that video that got deleted. Obviously, I mentioned that in the difference between a good storyteller and a great writer. There's a difference between a great writer and a storyteller. There's a difference. I'm a great storyteller, but I'm not a great writer. Other people are great writers, but they're not great storytellers. There's a difference. Right? So so my book process, I will agree with that. So I started writing my book in late 2011, and all these ideas started to jump in my mind. That's where I started creating the world of Last of Us. Right? So I started working on the book after I wrote 4 chapters of the Islamic book that I briefly mentioned. So for 9+ years, I've been working on Last Hope for Zanis. That's how much work I put into my amazing facts, worth billions, better than Lord of the Rings itself. So I remember during this time, my stepfamily, they kept breaking my games. They kept taking my PS3, hiding it. They kept, I'm saying they took the DVD player, they took the internet cord. And one day I was bored and I just decided to brainstorm. I wrote that Islamic story. I wrote 30,000 words on that story. And eventually I started working on Zanis, Last Hope for Zanis, in late 2011. And since 2011, I've been on and off working on my book. I've been slacking off. I'll work on like a chapter every 8 months or something like that. I was slacking off. And finally in late 2018, I started grueling. I started really, really working on my book. I ended up finishing in early 2020, last year when I made the announcement. But it got delayed because I got thrown in a mental institution and they hacked my laptop. And I had to rewrite it. But I finished it now and I saved my file saved. I saved it. And now I'm going on to my next phase, which is ground me at it. And that's why my wife is jumping for joy. And please keep in mind, this was before I knew the doors were locked on me. This is before I even knew I was God. So while I was working on my book, the doors were locked on me the whole time. So when my family was yelling at me and telling me to go to school and do something good with my life, this is before I knew the doors were locked on me. This is before I knew they were the gatekeepers. And yet I happened to be working on a book, which is what God protecting my journey, obviously. This all happened before I even knew I was God, before I even knew I had a wife, before I even knew I had the keys. This is all before I knew I had all this stuff. Right? Right? How much work I put into my amazing fashion on worth billions, better than Lord of the Rings itself. And please keep in mind, this is before I knew the doors were completely locked on me. And yet somehow I happened to work on my book. Again, God was guiding and protecting my journey, not a fucking coincidence. So obviously I have God protecting my journey. When I was lost and I didn't know how to wife, even when the doors were completely locked on me and my stepfather was yelling at me, this was before what? I knew the doors were locked on me, yet while this happened, I happened to be working on a book. And yet and then later on, when I found out I was God and I found the doors were locked on me, I realized, oh my God, this is last hope for what? For me to be king and queen, for me to be king and my wife queen with me. Right? And it's not a fucking coincidence. Again, for all you want-to-be authors out there, if you guys want a tip on motivation, how to finish your novel, this is my process. Again, how I like to work, how I ended up finishing my 191,000 word novel. My series is 191,000 words. Right? How I managed to finish it in a couple months. Show my calendar here.